What's going on, guys? So as you saw in my last video, actually my second to last video, we got the frame rail, the floor pan, and the firewall all welded in. So now we're going to add some more structural integrity to the car. I'm going to be attaching the frame rail to basically the rear metal section of the car, kind of like the rear subframe, the rear metal frame of the car. In the 240Zs, they actually have the frame rails actually go back and they go up under that hump, kind of where the passenger would have sat. Their frame rails go all the way back. So in the 280Zs, the frame rails actually stop a couple inches short of that metal area in the back. So I'm actually going to attach it to. I already did it to the other side, so I'm going to be doing it to this side. I'll show you guys that whole process. The other thing I want to mention is I'm going to be changing the name of the channel. The new name is going to be Built, Not Bought. By the time you watch this video, I would have already changed it. I'm going to kind of upload this and change it at the same time. So that's going to be the new name. It kind of fits me better. I just like it better. It's shorter. You can put it on the side of the car. It makes more sense for me. And definitely stay tuned. I've got a lot of new parts for the Z, very big ticket items for the parts. If for the car, if you follow my Instagram, you probably would have seen a few of those. But definitely, give you a hint, I got some coilovers. So definitely stay tuned for that. I'm going to be coming out with an unboxing video, and that's going to be really awesome. So I'm really excited for them, and I can't wait to put them in and show you the installation. So let's go ahead and show you what I'm going to work on today. I kind of already mentioned it, but let's go ahead and just give you a visual. So let's see if I can get a good area where the light's not too bright. All right, it's a little better. All right, so that's the frame rail. You can see the frame rail stops here, and then this is that piece of metal that I added quite a few videos ago, that structural piece for the back that we had to cut out because it was rusty. And then this would be where it comes down, then flattens out. So this is kind of the rear section where it goes all the way back, and basically the rear section for the car. A coming stock, this is what it would have looked like, but I'm going to go ahead and add a piece of metal here, and then it's going to be a small piece of metal here that's going to kind of fill this gap because there's two lips here, and then I'm going to add another piece of metal on top of that, and it's going to take up this whole area. I'm going to put a big piece of metal here, weld it all in, and so this will be attached to the back, and it's going to be nice and sturdy. So I've kind of already got this ground down, so it'll be a nice kind of flat piece to put a square piece of metal in there. Now I just need to go ahead and measure this and get a plate cut out, and let's go ahead and get some work done. All right, so I got the section all measured out, so let's go ahead and mark it. Alright, so after a few test fits and just a little sanding down, it's up there. It's got a pressure fit, so that's pretty good. So we'll just slide out with a little bit of force. So now let's go ahead and just make sure this metal is clean and clean off this coating that's on here. And we'll go ahead and weld this bad boy in there. I also, one thing I need to make sure is that I do short runs, because on the other side, when I did this, it got really hot and it really warped the metal. So there's kind of like a big bump in this area. So got to make sure I keep this all cool. All right, so I got the piece of metal all cleaned up, ready to be welded. Okay, so I just got it welded in. I'm trying to keep the light off of it, otherwise it's too shiny. But that's the piece right there. It's welded in, so now what I need to do is I need to go ahead and grind down all of the welds, so that I'm gonna lay another piece flat on top of this whole thing. So from here all the way up to here, I'm gonna put a big square piece in. You'll see. So it's all cleaned up, it's all flushed, so I'll go ahead and cut and measure a piece to put over this. All right, so I just got this piece cut out, cut to fit in here. Trying to do this with one hand. So that's basically it. It's going to attach this part of the frame rail here, and I'll be able to weld it, that piece I just welded in, and then I'm going to connect it back to the rear part frame of the car. So this piece is big enough to cover all three of those, and I cut it short on this side so I don't have to weld it to the floor pan. I'm going to weld it right here to the piece I just welded in. Just makes it easier. And then weld it across the bottom, weld it across this side, and weld it across here. And then maybe sand it down a little bit, and then there we go. We've got the frame rail connected to the rear part of the car. Okay, so I just got one tack on there right now, just that one, and it's staying up there. So now I'm just going to go ahead and get it tacked in all four corners, and then we'll start welding this up.
sunrise lasts forever, and it's all you and me. We'll kiss the sky goodnight. Come get lost with me. 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 Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Find out where we can go, where the sunrise lasts forever, and it's all you and me. We'll kiss the sky goodnight.
All right, well, there it is, all welded in. Next thing I'm going to go ahead and do, but I'm going to save it for another video. I've still got to weld all of this to the floor pan, and same with this over here, and this structural piece here. Probably not structural, but it is quite a bit thicker piece of metal that was left. I didn't want to cut off when I took the floor pan out, so this is some pretty good metal here that I'm gonna hammer down, get rid of these gaps, and hammer it down and weld it to the floor pan just like I did over there. So got that to do still, and still got to coat the inside of the frame rail with some internal frame rail coating. So I got that to do still, and I'm buying some epoxy primer. I'm gonna spray on all this. So so much more work to do, but we're getting there. All right, so that's where I'm gonna end it with this video. It's a little bit shorter than what I'm used to making, but I did get a lot done. Getting that frame rail connected to the rear part of the car, it's very crucial to do it right, get it done right, and I'm glad that I did it. You know, it wasn't like that from factory, but I think it's going to be a lot better, because I mean, it's just going to add structural integrity connecting that frame rail to the rear part of the car. It's just going to make it a lot more sturdy. So like I said, I got to do the internal frame rail coating. I got a lot more things to weld, but it's a work in progress. So stay tuned. I've got a lot more videos coming out. Like I said, I've got the coilover unboxing, so I hope you guys are really excited for that. I went with a company that's, you know, I had never really heard of them before, so they're not really known. I had to do a lot of research to find this company, and you know, I like their product. It looks really good. It's going to fit my application well. So stay tuned for that. The installation, that's going to be a good video. And I mean, we're that much closer to getting this car on the ground. So I appreciate you guys watching. Stay into the end. Don't forget the name change of the channel. It's going to be Built Not Bought TV. So just make sure to remember that. So I appreciate you guys staying, and have a good rest of your day.